What's happening, everyone? This is Game for Your Life here, and welcome back to Crusader Kings 3. In this episode, we are going to try and do what the Avengin kings couldn't, and that is to create what was known as the Avengin Empire. If you're not sure what that is, it was essentially what during the 100 Years' War when England was trying to invade all of France. They didn't quite manage it, thanks to a god-known saint, Joan of Arc. But we're going to try and succeed this as William of Normandy. New game. So starting in the 1066 start date, we are going to select William the Bastard de Normandy. And he has a little barrow over here. He's a Norman of Norman culture. He is Catholic. Apparently difficulty medium is medium. I did do a stream on this and it failed epically, so I decided to do a video instead. The House of Normandy traces their lineage back to the Norse Vikings and established themselves on the mainland of Europe over 200 years ago. Now William II dreams of leading his family to rule the Kingdom of England, and he believes his status as successor to the throne was promised by the late King Edward, and even recognised by Harold Godwinson himself. However, now that Edward has gone, Harold has broken his oath and taken the crown for himself. William is at war with England. Can you muster up the forces and claim what is rightfully yours? Yes, let's start. I already start off at war with England, and I've got a claim on the entire kingdom. How am I going to get a claim on France? Well, that's where if you go to your lifestyle and click on stewardship, there's this little thing here which I think is extremely overpowered if you're not the main liege, or you have a liege above you, and that is meritocracy. If you click on meritocracy, you can use claim throne against your liege. Now, it does take a while. Sometimes with this one, it takes about 4 years, so you're going to have to drag out your war with England for a while. I'll explain that in a bit. But if you claim your throne as the Duke of Normandy to the Kingdom of France, you have a claim on the Kingdom of France, and you are soon to become the King of England. Then you just need to make the empire. So naturally, we're going to go on wealth focus for the extra income in the stewardship lifestyle. So as I mentioned, you start off at war with England, and I mentioned before we're going to have to drag this out because as soon as you become King of England, you are no longer under the Kingdom of France. Therefore, if you're still in your scheme to claim the Kingdom of France, it will end. It will just be invalid. Drag this war out. Now, something that you might think of is, oh well, in that case I'm going to have to postpone the invasion of England, and I was doing that in the stream. But England does then start coming out on top against Norway sometimes. Sometimes Norway, I think at one point Norway did come out on top and claim the Kingdom of England itself. Actually, you really don't need to do that. Get 100% war score, disband your troops, and just wait. Just wait. You don't have to end the war straight there. Just make sure Norway doesn't win. And make sure England doesn't win and is not strong enough to win. That's all you need. So how are we going to do that? So first, we start off with 4,400 special troops. We're going to merge those together. We're not going to need them instantly. And then we have our own levies, which is an extra 690. Is that going to be enough to defeat England? Probably not. We can hire mercenaries, but that's more money, and as you can see, our income is abysmal. We do have relative ties to Flanders, so we could, if we sway them enough, negotiate an alliance with them. So let's start off with that. Sometimes you can also get one with, not Champagne, Burgundy. Yes, but you'll need to sway them as well. So to try and sway with both Flanders and Burgundy, they can join the war. In the meantime, you can build up your own troops and create your own men-at-arms. So let's select bowmen and light footmen for the time being. And I'm probably going to do 300 for each at the moment, because like I said, our income is abysmal. I like this word. So my culture is now fascinated by hereditary rule, So I'm just going to go over here and see what we are actually focusing on. I'm going to be fascinated and exposed to household soldiers to increase my men-at-arms. That will then be done in 24 years, which is a reasonable ballpark time for when we're going to go to war against France. At this point, we just need time to pass and just observe the war against Norway. See how well the King Harold Godwinson, the traitor, is doing, and he's doing pretty well, apparently. Now that my men-at-arms has now increased to the full amounts that I've raised them to, I could increase them even more. I could even get some mangonels. I'm sorry, I always mispronounce that. I call them like maginals or something. So I think I'm going to focus on mangonels just for the siege. Now, as the war progresses, you will notice down here that I'm seemingly losing the war, and that is only because the defender controls the war target, so England still exists. Don't worry. You're going to move in very soon. And just as long as you keep it at 100, and you keep England and Norway's armies weak, you'll fly through this. There we go, I've swayed my Duke. Will the Duke of Flanders, will he ally with me? He won't. -1. -1. Next time. But I am going to have to move in pretty soon. England has now finished his war against Norway, so I am going to have to start facing the music and in knowing that I'm going to have to invade very soon. Otherwise, it's going to get too powerful. There we go. I've now unlocked meritocracy, and I'm immediately going to try and claim my liege's throne. This is under the hostile tab, claim throne. There's a 70% chance it will succeed, 80% chance that I will be discovered, and it's approximately going to take 4 years. That's why we need to do this as quickly as possible. Let's see who we can invite, and this is why you need to hold on to as much money as possible, because you need to sway people. You'll add 2 power and 14 success chance, as long as I give him 150 gold. But he's the only one who's going to be swayed to help out, so let's bribe him. Ill omens. I clearly do not stand alone in my ambition to rule Kingdom of France. Ravens have been gathering on the roofs of King Philip's castle, and a few nights ago even the stars seemed to be falling all over France. Peasants and nobles alike whisper that it is a sign that Philippe, has lost the favour of God. Favour spelt wrong in English. It is time for a new king. You spend 100 parity, but you'll get a +20 scheme success chance. Do it. Do it. Okay, I am going to have to start my invasion of England, even though I don't have my alliance with Flanders or Burgundy. Actually, let's see if Burgundy will do it. Nope, still -11. But we don't have any much more time to waste, so let's raise our armies and march upon Hastings, or rather sail upon Hastings. I predict I'm going to have to wait 3 months for this to finish. Hopefully he will be swayed and join my alliance and the war. Then there will definitely be enough troops to begin my invasion of England. My pursuit of the Kingdom of France is not driven by a mere lust for power. Yes, it is. But because I am the only one who can bear the enormous responsibility. Even King Philippe seems to acknowledge this, as he grants me increasingly important tasks in service of the realm. Soon, I might as well be ruling the kingdom, in all but name. So, not to worry, I will gain stress, but I will get increased responsibility plus 20 success chance. Unfortunately, after those 3 months, my Duke was not swayed, or the Duke was not swayed. So, desperate times call for desperate measures. I am going to send him a gift of 150. This is not ideal, because you're going to need money. You're going to need a lot of money. But I'm going to do it, because I need his troops. He'll now get the alliance. And he will now join the war. Just as long as he doesn't die, because he doesn't look so good. Now, thanks to me having to pay the Duke of Flanders to become friendly enough with me to invade England, and the crossing through the English Channel has now put me in debt. So this better be worth it. And hopefully I don't need any mercenaries. Okay, it looks like England has come to Lewis's aid. Luckily we have our army and reinforcements here in Hastings to reinforce and defend. Oh, he's got another army of that's almost 6,000. Luckily I've got an ally with me. So mop the floor with them. For some reason, the King of England wants a white peace. Nope. As you can see, England has come to try and unsiege Lewis whilst I'm sieging Kent. However, I'm going to finish sieging Kent first. And I can just... There we go. They know what's coming. Oh, they're coming in with their 5,000. Let's hope my ally comes in to help me out here. There he goes. I did get injured, but luckily I've got a court physician to help me out there. Again, they're still desperately trying. I don't know where my allies have gone though. No, they're there. Never mind, they are still with me. They managed to unsiege Lewis, but we can just siege them down again, and we are on now plus 76% war score. Now that we've got an extra perk, let's go with golden obligations so I can demand payments of hooks, so I can get a bit more money if I need it, and then I'll go for Herigol for vassal tax contribution, because money seems to be an issue at the moment. There we go. Claim thrown. I now have near indisputable evidence that I am of the lineage of none other than Charles the Hammer himself. Even King Philippe can no longer refuse the righteousness of my claim to rule the Kingdom of France. I have a 90% chance that I get a press claim on the Kingdom of France. There we go, finally no one can doubt the fact that I have a reasonable claim on the Kingdom of France, with a lineage traced to Charles the Hammer. Who could ever find a claim unreasonable? Nothing can stop me now. He doesn't like me, but he doesn't need to like me. I'm going to become the King of England soon. Potentially after this battle. Now all that's left is to siege down London. And I should be at 100% war score by the end of it. There we go. I have now fulfilled my duty and will now be known as King William the Conqueror of England. There's a bit of instability. There's a lot of land to give out. But, there we go. I am now known as William the Conqueror. But, I am now the King of England. With a claim on France. Let's not do that just yet, because my ally is Flanders. I'm not entirely sure whether they would join the war against their own liege. For now, let's just distribute all this land that I need to give out. There we go. I've now given out all my land. Essentially what I've done is I have given the duchy... Well, I gave my son, who already owned land in Normandy, well, in these two provinces, my holding in Normandy, and I've set London as my capital, and he is now the Duke of Normandy. I've given my other son the Duchy of Kent, and my third son all of Wessex. There's no duchy for that yet, but I will make that in a bit. Everything else has been split up independently. I do still hold Colchester. That is part of Essex, isn't it? Yes, it is. East Anglia, I am still the Duke of East Anglia. I'm going to keep that title. Northumbria is a bit worrisome. But they are a duchess, so... Do any of my sons have a child yet? My eldest, Prince Robert II, Kurthos? Don't know what that means. Does have a son. I think I will marry them off. And he is robust. Oh, they'll not accept. Why? They don't like me. And they don't like my son. And it's patrilineal. Never mind then. In the meantime, let's embrace the English culture. Give us an extra 150 prestige. Norman no more. The time when we Normans considered France our homeland has long since passed. Our children are born here, surrounded by Saxons, and to them, Normandy will only ever be a blurred line beyond the misty shores of Britannia. And as we make some of the local customs our own, so too the legacy of our culture spreads throughout the Saxon lands, giving birth to a new English identity. Long live the English. But we're not going to stop there, are we? We're going to really claim what's rightfully ours, aren't we, King Philippe? But for now, build up your troops, sort out this mess, see what happens. More importantly, sort out this mess. We've got a lot of work to do. Now, in terms of taking on France, you're going to need a little bit of help. Although they may look a bit weaker now, they do often get allies. Although they are very vulnerable at the moment. What I could do is, I could get some allies outside of the French realm. That should help me out, because I'm not sure whether Flanders would. And take them on now, maybe. So, who can be my allies? Norway? Yeah, probably could definitely be a case, but they're currently in a war against Denmark, so that rules Denmark out. And I'm assuming Sweden is also in that war. Yes, they are. So, none of them at the moment. The Holy Roman Emperor, potentially. But they've got their own things going on at the moment, including a war against one of my allies, who I kind of just abandoned. So I'm going to wait for these wars to fizzle out. This would result in an alliance, but he's probably going to try and call me into a war against Norway. Is he he is attacking. For what? The kingdom. He's pressing his claim against the kingdom. He also has a claim against me. see. Sweden's not the leader, so this could work. I don't want to scaly, no. What about this one? This would result in an alliance, so let's send that proposal. Will anyone else join? That could work. Oh, one of my children's died. My son died. My second son. And I'm stressed. Now, I could strike right now. I am much larger than France. Well, I'm much stronger than France. Plus, I have allies with both Sweden, granted they are currently in a war, and Barcelona, who is not in a war. But I need to sort out a bit of a mess. This mess. I do also have factions against me, including this one that will fire in 23 months. Let's sort these out first. Let's get them out of the way, and then we will look to... Now, to found a new empire, which is what you'll have to do in order to create this Avengin Empire that was almost a thing, you need, firstly, to be exalted among men. I am currently distinguished, going on to illustrious. That's not too bad. As long as you can make lots of money, you can create titles that will give you more prestige. You can always hold a feast or call a hunt to give yourself more prestige. You also need a realm size of either need a realm size of 120. Currently I've got 50. Or I need to have at least 3 kingdoms and a realm size of at least 80. By the time I get France, I can create the Kingdom of Aquitaine or the Kingdom of Cornwall, and then create the Avengin Empire. I need 1,200 gold, 2,000 prestige, and 600 piety. Now, piety might be a bit difficult, but again, I can just go on a pilgrimage and also seek indulgences with the Pope, although that's sometimes not worth it. My main problem is making money. I'm not making a lot. I have to spend money to make prestige, I have to spend money to make piety, and then I need to spend money to make the Empire, and the Kingdom of Aquitaine or Cornwall. You need money, essentially. I'm next going to go for It Is My Domain, so I can extort my subjects if I do need a big influx of cash whenever at any point. So I'm going to go for that. I am then going to be looking to go down the avaricious tree and maybe get a few on this side. I would, however, like to get to toe the line where my vassals are less likely to join independence factions, which I kind of need now, but I will definitely need when it comes to France. France is very difficult when it comes to independence. A lot of vassals will try and get their independence, or install a new leader. You don't want that. So it turns out one of my vassals wants me to go to war against Philippe. So Elfwald of Wiltshire claims, "My lord, you have reason to attack King Philippe, yet you stay your hand." My meticulous vassal, Earl Elfwald, runs a hand through his hair before continuing, "Why? We have been at peace for far too long. You should seize the opportunity." You know what? This does give me increased levies and plus 40 opinion of one of my vassals. So I'll say that he's right. But I've promised him now, so I think I need to do this within 5 years. Now I do have... They did claim a bit of Navarra down here, but I do have... Where are my allies gone? I did have an alliance with Sweden, didn't I? I should have done. Anyway, let's get an alliance with Sweden. Let's get an alliance with Denmark. And I think I've still got my alliance with Barcelona. Yes, I do. There we go, alliance with Sweden. And Denmark. Did Denmark reject it? Barcelona. I've lost my alliance with Barcelona. I can always get that again. But I'd rather have Denmark. There we go. I don't know what happened there. So now, I can claim France. They have 3,981. I've got essentially, what, 7.5 plus 3, so 10, 12.5, 13,000. Let's do this. Now, I may have won the war against France. I am on a 100% war score. However, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, you don't have to end the war immediately. And I'm not going to. The reason I'm not going to is because I would like to get toe the line. Now, I could always reset my perks and push them down this way. That will stress me out, and I probably will do that because I can unstress myself. De-stress myself. De-stress myself, yeah. So I am going to do that. Let's reset perks. I will get 145 stress though. Meritocracy, large levies, soon forgiven, toe the line, and golden obligations. Then I've got a whole lot of ones on this side. You can do these however you want. Cast a spell cost? Yes. Serve the crown? Yes. And I'm not going to go down this line because I'm not expecting William to be doing any more wars himself after this. So let's focus on increased control in county. Dread gain and siege progress against revolts. Engineered for destruction for the plus 40% siege weapon effectiveness. Parthian tactics for the plus 30% and 20% on light cavalry toughness and pursuit, which I will be getting, and then also the skirmisher damage and toughness as well. Organized march for the extra movement speed. And also envelopment for the men-at-arms counter efficiency. Now, as you can see, I am very stressed. In fact, I'm stress level 2 now. So let's... When I'm not commanding an army, I will end this war now. There we go, look at that. Spand all. And hold a feast to celebrate our victory against the French. I can also run some prisoners, so we'll get 10 from them. 15, and then there's another one wants to save. Looked at that. And again, athletic. I'm happy with athletic. Now, there are factions being made against me, and these are going to be a very big focus of yours, because they get big. So, they want my brother-in-law to become the King of France. They also want Prince Hughes of France to become the King of France. So, let's start trying to sway these people. Make sure they like me. This is another thing you spend a lot of money on, because you tend to send gifts. Now that I have both England and France, well, apart from Brittany, but we can sort that out afterwards, I can now focus on making money, prestige, and piety. Let's go on a pilgrimage. And I can't quite afford to go anywhere too fancy. Actually, I can't quite afford to go anywhere, to be honest. So, for now, let's go to Canterbury. I could afford that. There we go. I now have, after one pilgrimage to Canterbury, I now have the piety to create the new empire. Now I just need the prestige and, more importantly, the gold. And an extra kingdom title. Thank goodness for that. So, the King of Denmark's died, and his realm of both Denmark and Norway has been split. And therefore Denmark is definitely weaker, and Denmark had a claim on me. Does he still have a claim on me? Yes, he does. And on Norway. Okay, so now my brother-in-law, the Duke... I'm gonna refuse to pronounce that word. Has come before me insisting that I grant him the Kingdom of France. I can either give it to him, but get a weak hook on him, or I can say France belongs to me, and I think I am going to say France belongs to me. Who is he? He's my brother-in-law. Isn't he... Yes, he is the claimant in this faction. But they have no power, or very little power. So I'm going to say France belongs to me. And I am working on reducing the amount of people who support him. It has proven a bit difficult, though. Now, as much as I am athletic with a small health boost, I'm 61 and I am ailing. I'm getting pretty close to death at this point. So, how do I protect my realm from partitioning back into England and France? I mean, I could do that and just try and claim France back, but ideally I don't want to, and I've got too many sons to stop a partition. So, who are my heirs? I've got my main heir who will inherit England, Petty Kingdom of Essex, the Earldom of Buckinghamshire, Middlesex, Hertfordshire, Bedford, and the Earldom of Essex. And then my grandson, who is this dude's son, and is also the Duke of Kent, who's married to the Duchess of Northumbria, pretty powerful guy, will get France. And then this guy will get East Anglia, which fine, that's alright. So my main competitor is this dude. I need to disinherit him, because he's too dangerous. He will hate me, and I'm assuming so will she, and she's a powerful vassal. And it costs a lot of renown and a lot of prestige, but I do need to do it. And I can get my prestige up anyway, because I need to do it. I need to do that anyway, because I need to become exalted among men. But this is so Prince Robert II will hopefully become the King of England as well. So let's have a look and see what this does. Okay, so what it's done is it's passed it on to William the Red. So really, I gotta disinherit you as well. There we go. He still loves me. He likes me? Kinda? It just takes a massive hit to your renown. Which you could do with if you're going to do like a long campaign for this, but I'm just trying to form the Avengin Empire. I'm going to look to try and get Ducal Conquest, because that means that I can get a title creation cost of minus 20%. Hopefully that should also apply to... even though I'm not far off it, it should also apply to the... where is it? This creation here. Although really, I don't need it at this point. I just hope I don't die before this happens. I am so close. There we go. Wait. There we go. Found a new empire. I can do it. I can do it, guys. Let's do it. Gather the realm. You create a new empire. Every kingdom title you hold or completely control becomes de jure kingdoms of your new empire. Our realm reforged. I have done what no one else could, but the Avengins couldn't. I have united the lands of England with those of France and Aquitaine. All my vassals and priests have finally gathered before my throne. I have earned this moment in their eyes, and more importantly, in the eyes of God. As Pope Leo places the crown upon my head, I declare my new empire. It is what my servant vassals are here to witness, and as the declaration leaves my lips, all the power of my realm, spiritual as well as temporal, kneels before me. England reigns supreme. Now, technically, you are now just the king of, well, the Emperor of England, but you do have a little thing here where you can just... Avengin. Avengin. Rename? There we go. We are the Emperor of Avengin. We hold both England and France. And we're gonna die very soon, let's face it. But at least our son will inherit the Kingdom of England, the Kingdom of France, and the Empire of Avengin. There is no election decision here, because it's a new empire. There's no adopting the old inheritance. But at this point, you do rival the Holy Roman Empire. I would recommend trying to integrate Brittany, maybe parts of Iberia and Britannia over here. Maybe push out into Scandinavia before looking to take the Holy Roman Empire. But you could, if you needed to, definitely. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to like and subscribe for more content. Remember to hit that bell button to be notified. And if you want to see me live, feel free to go to my Twitch channel, which will be in the link in the description below. But again, thank you very much for being with us. Good night.